Once again, hello everyone. This presentation would be more around threats that are constantly hitting the healthcare industry, and more specifically around a very prevalent threat that is surprisingly rarely covered, which is social engineering. So, as we mentioned, healthcare is one of the 4 most frequently targeted verticals for ransomware attacks. And let's look specifically at social engineering and how you can protect against it. So here are the 10 most common types of social engineering. Some of these, everyone knows obviously, some of these are relevantly new. And most importantly, when people talk about cyber threats, we always think about software, about viruses, about ransomware, but actually a lot of people don't realize that there are physical cyberware threats, and we're going to talk about those as well. So first of all, the most common and well-known one is phishing. You get an email, there's a link, you click it, and your whole infrastructure is covered by ransomware. You have to either pay the ransom, restore from a DR copy, just a choice without choice of a lot of very unpleasant options. Attack number 2 is a little bit more specific variation of phishing. It's called whaling. It's a more targeted and sophisticated attack where the top management of, for example, a healthcare clinic is being approached by a spoofed email of a high-ranking executive in the clinic. And they say, I have an emergency task for you. Please follow this link and complete this document. Since it comes from a credible source, it seems that you have to actually action this email and perform whatever action is required. And that's why these attacks are actually very dangerous, because the level of access that a top manager within a clinic has is considerably higher than a low-ranking employee. Attack number 3 is what we already mentioned. It's a physical threat. It's called diversion theft. So a lot of documents, a lot of patient data is being sent around physically through DHL, through DDP, through different courier companies. And what happens is malicious actors reach out to logistics companies using a spoofed email from, let's say, a healthcare clinic or other organization. And they will say that, okay, so we currently cannot accept any parcels at our normal location. Here is the new address. Please ship it to this location. If proper measures are not being taken, then your parcel will get diverted to a malicious actor's location, and they will gain access to whatever data is inside the parcel, which can be quite devastating. Attack number 4 is called baiting. This is one that has been already mentioned, actually. Nigerian prince has a lot of money. He really needs help in Europe allocating that money, and all you have to do to gain access to it is click a link. Thank God, most people are familiar with this one, and it's becoming less and less effective. Number 5 is my favorite one, because it comes to a very old saying. If something looks too good to be true, it probably is. So a very, very beautiful lady or gentleman is reaching out to you completely out of the blue, and suddenly you become the love of their life. They cannot imagine living without you. They want to have a very romantic and passionate relationship with you. And all you have to do to ensure that it's a really trusting relationship is provide them with sensitive information that you happen to have access to. But once that happens, you're going to be together forever, and you're going to ride off into the sunset on a beautiful white horse. Problem is, after you share that data, they somehow vanish and never text you back. So that type of attack is surprisingly popular and surprisingly effective. Attack number 6, pretexting. This is one of the most sophisticated ones because it requires not just script kiddies that gained access to ransomware, but actually research. It implies that the malicious actor performed research on the company that they're targeting and makes an attack custom tailored to the company. Easy example. So a healthcare institution has a supplier, and an email which is very similar to that supplier reaches out and says, so we are currently updating our records on your company. Could you please provide the following information to ensure that we have the most up-to-date info? This attack is very successful. We have encountered maybe out of all the attacks that we've seen in terms of social engineering, about 60% effective attacks are exactly this attack, because it seems very legitimate. And it actually relies on research, so it doesn't seem random. SMS phishing. This is actually an attack that came out very banal and easy to avoid because you would get an SMS, please follow this link and you're going to get amazing benefits. It was initially basically a baiting attack. However, it became much more sophisticated with the introduction of multi-factor authentication. Because everyone knows that multi-factor authentication protects you quite well. And if you get, for example, an SMS saying, we received a login attempt into your account, if it's not you, please follow this link to deny access. And it's actually a spoofed SMS, and that link will give them access. So that's a pretty unpleasant attack. Scareware. This is an old one. I have to admit, when I was 15 years old, I got hit by this one. It was very unpleasant. You see that your computer has a virus. But only our banner can help you download the antivirus to fix it right away. I hope I've become smarter since then, and so do I hope that all the companies are smart enough not to click that. Tailgating. This is another type of physical attack. It actually is very common, and people don't actually protect themselves from this that much. How many times are you going into the office, using your key card to enter the room, and then someone's like, hold on, I forgot my pass, please hold the door. Since we're all very nice people and we want to help others, you'll say, yeah, sure, here's the door. And then someone who's not part of your organization gets into the building and has physical access to systems. Combined with the fact that some people forget to lock their computers, this can be absolutely devastating. And finally, watering hole, quite unpleasant attack. It means that they take a legitimate website, it gets attacked, and then anyone who logs into a legitimate website can also be a victim. This is really hard to protect from. So the best way to protect yourself is security through education. Each individual person typically does not understand how, especially if they're not in IT, how they can be a huge part of the security of the whole healthcare organization. And that's why educating individual staff members and explaining that every single person has a big role in cybersecurity is crucial. With that, I'd like to thank you for your time and have a great expo.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much.